Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. How's everyone doing today? Nice little momentum bars this afternoon. Finally, looks like at least we're potentially getting that short-term rally, that short-term bottom. So we shall see. We shall look at the charts. Hey, Ken. Glad you had a great trading day. Hey, John. Hey, William. I'll see if we can look at Boeing. Hey, Amit. An amazing end of day rally. It's like a group hit the buy. I didn't. No, not really short covering. There might have been some of that. I mean, there's always going to be some short covering, but when these things kick in, especially with the algos, and the liquidity is just pathetic still. And when algos kick in, like based off these bottoming patterns, you can see it's just a rush to buy. That's why I learned to spot momentum bars. Hey, Davey. Yep, FMOC on Wednesday afternoon. Rally before the FMOC meeting is trying to tell us they won't do anything crazy. There, it's already that 50 basis points. If you look here, that 50 basis point, it's baked in. They're not going to deviate from that. So, and I wouldn't expect them to do 75% if they, I mean, 75 basis points. If they're going to do that, they're going to talk about it in the meeting afterwards. Okay, so that's what the press conference. So that's what you're going to want to pay attention to on Wednesday. Let's see where we sit. I'll get into that in a second. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers, please like the videos and leave some comments. So, yeah, this why SPY went up like crazy without any news, because that's what happens in these bear market rallies. I say it's still a bear market. I don't care if people say it's not officially one, because that doesn't help. Once it's down over 20%, big whoop. You got to try to spot these early. That's why I follow the long-term stuff. And so these are your bear market rallies with the momentum bars. Close your puts at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Well, that was a pretty good timing. Good afternoon, George. Good afternoon, Genomic Stock. Hello, Options 22. Hey, Mike, I can't stay for the whole stream, so I'm posting this now, and I'll rewatch later. When you're in a momentum bar trade to the upside, where do you stop out at? Well, that's a really open-ended question. You mean I like to take something off at some key levels, whether they be significant levels or support resistance levels, or what's the harmonics, and then I like to trail out, and I just keep ratcheting up a stop behind it. But it all depends on your long-term outlook. Like, I'm watching for at least a couple day rally potentially off of this, and maybe up through Wednesday afternoon. So I'd be looking to hold a little longer. So I keep a wider stop, and based off this rally, I like to keep it below the 62.5% level, and then keep ratcheting that up. We live to fight another day. More tactical trading ahead. More tactical trading ahead. Nothing has changed with tactical trading. It's going to be that way for a while. Christoph, hello. Wavy, hello. Crazy power hour rally on NASDAQ. Went lows to new highs in about 40 minutes time. Exactly. So, now we've covered that. You had the ISM numbers come out, a contraction. I mean, we're still in expansion territory as long as it's above 50, but down from the forecast. Construction spending down. Employment index, this is really interesting because this could tip below 50 if it keeps contracting, which is a recession warning signal. New orders, and prices, look at that. Prices down a little bit, but still very, very high. Here's your heat map from today. You had a little mixed in your mega caps. Your healthcare continuing to sell off like we covered in the sector overview. Real estate also selling off. Consumer defensive selling off. So it's just that rotation back into more sort of risk-based assets for this little rally. And then we'll probably roll over again. Let's just take a look at what's coming up tomorrow in the economic calendar. We only have really factory orders at 9 Central. That's really about everything that's moving. So tomorrow is a light news day. And then you have the Fed on Wednesday. After hours, I haven't had a chance to peek in on anything yet. But if anybody wants to look at anything with after hours earnings, then let me know. I know Expedia had a very strong rally today. What else do we have? We have tomorrow. We have Pfizer, British Petroleum, Marathon. Again, oil stocks up this afternoon, so that was good. That could be interesting going into tomorrow morning. And that's really all I am interested in. But if somebody else is interested in something else, let me know. Wavy's feeling a short-term bottom here. Hammer candlesticks are everywhere. Yeah, you'll find those a lot in these bear markets. And you see the reversal on the VIX. So now I'm watching. You don't have a potential double top anymore, but I'm watching for at least a pullback to the 30 level on the VIX. Let's see where we sit. Yo, Lauren. How are you doing? A rally is coming. I completely agree, Rich. Car has jumped 10% after earnings. Thank you for that information, Sterling. Thank you for your 2 wisdom points, your QQQ downside markers, and 2 advice. 80% probability of a market rally. You're the Oracle of Chicago. I don't like to go by any names. I'm not a guru or an oracle. I'm just Mike, trying to help people navigate the markets. So, but thank you for that options 22. You know, this is, and it is challenging right now. You see the S&P. Now remember, let me pull off this. Before I do that, my next targets for this, I have this little decline on here. You can probably see it better on the 4-hour. Little decline. I am targeting on a continued area. First target would be about 41.80, and then we continue above that. I'll pay attention to the rotation zone on the 4-hour, but bigger than that, I'm watching. You had this pretty big support base here, which is now resistance in the 62.5, so 42.10. Keep those levels in mind for tomorrow. Now, let me pull those off temporarily. By the way, this is no longer a potential daily double. The only one that's still in play is on the NASDAQ. This went down too far, spiking through that 40.75 harmonic and then reversing. With this strong reversal, we're going to update the harmonics. So most likely will be a pausing bar, and it does favor a continued move because if you look at here, it's the green candle above the 25 and 25% harmonic, which favors a continuation move to the upside in the short term. In the short term. Now, we have, oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. We have, if we get above that 62.5 from this little sell-off, then I'll start targeting this 454 to the most recent swing high of 45.10. But we need to get above that 62.5 level. Please keep that in mind. That's how we'll trade it short term. For the harmonics for overnight, here's what I am watching. This 41.79 and then 41.93 with the top of the 4-hour rotation zone should it continue in the Asian and European sessions. On a pullback now, you don't want, again, let's take a look. We have those momentum bars. The little hitch pattern, a little pretty quick move. Love this when you get back off of these divergence bottoms. So 5 minutes, you see waning momentum. Cycles also diverging up, and I talked about it today. The cycles were already headed up on the daily, which can lead a move, and they were already headed up on the 4-hour. We got that move in. So again, just watching for that little pullback moves off here. A little return to the quick little momentum burst return, and then you get the momentum push up. And this I like to look at, it's really tough to be a buyer here, but it's really easy to buy this momentum breakout because you get some momentum, little 1 bar pause back to this key area, then you get the momentum taking off. And in these markets, that's what you go with. Now, why did I also bring that up? Because I talked about if you're unwinding some, okay, you get long down here. Even here, you see it, you could have got long on these 2 bars. Even if you got long at this bar and unwound some into the close, your stop is now the 62.5 level for your remaining position. Why does the 62.5 level matter? Because you've already locked in something. Even if it retraces overnight, you have a stop, because if it closes back below this level, what does it favor? A retest of the low area. But you're giving it enough room to not crowd this, to give it continued play upwards. So back to Jake's question, that's what I like to do. Now, how would I raise a stop again? You get up to this 4193 to 4200. That would be another stop raising area. And I'd also move up these retracement harmonics and then use that 62.5. And here you might unwind another portion of your trade. I like to unwind in stages and then trail out at the end, because that gives you the most upside because if you get out of everything, then you're always searching for where do I get back in, where do I get back in, and many people get back in on the next rollover move in these kind of markets. So, hey, Dan Jet, let's see, Wavy, you definitely changed many lives. New traders need to watch this stuff before blowing up an account. My story. And I wish. I mean, Sterling's running a lot of stuff on the Twitter. It's just a lot of people aren't interested because I don't do pump and dumps. I don't sit here and, talk about all the garbage. I just try to teach stuff the way it is and give people advice, and you can make it. You don't have to trade the exact same way I do, but a lot of these tools work and you can incorporate it with your various strategies. But people like more of I don't know. I don't even know what I want. It's like the drama TV kind of stuff instead of just talking about the levels. And they want the drama with the markets. That's not me. I just like to put out the information because that's what we're here for. We're here to trade and to make money. We're not here about drama and about short ladder attacks and about apes and about all this other stuff. So that's me. Guess that's how I'll have to be. By the way, mentioned here, I wanted to show you something else. See these levels? Now this, I put on the reverse harmonics. By the way, the double still is in play, but see, I'm just showing you another thing. The reverse harmonics. And you see this red line? It gave 12,700, and then we have a cluster here, so that will be in place even if we roll over again. The 12,614 area. But look at this. It just happened to be at 12,700. But that's pretty much this afternoon. Boom. Again, waning momentum. Trying to get in here. You got the little rally off there. Same little pattern. So you start seeing this. You put up your harmonics. Oh, look, we've caught between the 50 and the 62. Now we're getting the momentum up. And bam. Same story in here. What do? You get some here. Also, here's a little interesting thing. You got the pausing bar here. You could either use forwards or reversed harmonics. If you used a little reverse thing, it didn't quite get to that one, but I like to check them both out because you make a little zone here. And look at this. So I put up both of them like this, and I'll show you right here. So I like to put up both with this kind of rally, and then I have a target zone. So I have a target zone, and we got right in the middle of that target zone. So that could either be raise a stop or unwind stuff at the end of the day. That's how you use the harmonics. And then if it kept going, you have your next level, and you have a cluster now here. You see a retracement harmonic with a projection harmonic. So you have 13,123. Now for your retracements, I put those on. Same little difference on the remaining position. I stop on a closing basis below about 12,850. Why? You close back below there, it favors a retest of the lows, but that gives it enough breathing room that even if you have some backfill trade overnight, Even if it trades down this 50% and then resumes tomorrow, you're still keeping your position on. Sorry, a little window popped up in the way there. But yeah, and as I said, this double's still in play. So the same trigger as this morning, 13,542. Now it is against the daily rotation zone, so it is a slightly lower probability because it could why do I stress that? That doesn't mean it can't be traded, but you have to be aware it could come up like to 37.5 harmonic with the declining daily rotation zone and roll over well before it gets to stop reduction. So that makes it a little trickier to trade, but it is completely a valid trade. And then your next target above the stop reduction is right at the 50-day EMA. And that's right, you see here on a daily basis from this whole decline, we get between the 50 and the 62.5 where we start watching for a rollover play, because unless you get that daily close above the 62.5, then it favors higher prices. Just showing you how the analysis works. And we still got cycles turning up. All right, so overnight, next level is this 13,130. Let me jump back down in time frames and I'll get to some comments. 13,084, 13,082. Then we got 13,125. Then above that, what would I target next? Because remember I talked this morning, we're into this clear path. Well, this was the close into the clear path. All right, we have this little pausing area here, which is minor. I'd be more focused on the harmonic, but then the breakdown zone was this, and you got a 62.5 harmonic from this sell-off. So that's my major target for tomorrow should the rally continue. All right. Let's see where we sit. Let's see. We'll get to that. The Qs, I'll get back through to the NASDAQ double bottom confirmed. We'll take a look at that on a little short-term basis. You also have this, but it's a little sloppier. You do have this little valid one, but I hate this hitch in there. That was going to be my next point. Again, you guys are really learning. Okay, so you can use this. I'd be more, this would definitely be stop reduction, 31,198, and then 13,274, and then look at this, you have all this cluster up here. So you could come up here, this 13,198 stop reduction. My major target's still going to be this area in here. Get a close above there, and then it's pretty much a clear run to this 13,350 based off your probability moves and statistics. And even on a backfill, why I like to leave the stop down here, 62.5. Look, we're going to get the 1 hour rotation zone crossing, prior resistance becoming support, and you got to give these trades a little breathing room. We get to the Dow, then I'll get back through some other stuff. By the way, remember I talked this morning, I was still watching for that push lower to complete. The double in the Dow, you got the push lower. Through those targets, coming back down to this area of significance, and then a really nice strong reversal up. I don't have to cover everything in the Dow again with the little hitch pattern, but you have your same key levels. We don't have another bottoming pattern besides that for the Dow now. The key area I'm watching tomorrow is about 13,123. Then I'll target 33,243 and then 33,342 into this advanced clear path move. Let's see, what else do we have? NVIDIA was printing. We can peek at that. QQQ and MGK triggered 1 hour double bottoms. ARC and XLC and Google might trigger 4 hour double bottoms tomorrow. Peeking at those. You're the GOAT. Like the kind that stands in a field eating grass. Everyone wants to get rich quick scheme when it comes to trading. I've yet to find such a thing. I've been in this industry since 92, and I was studying even before then. There is no such thing. There's just, if you want to get real rich, there's a strategy I recommend. You know, you set aside a small little portion of your trading account and you just try to roll it into fully leveraged full trades. And if it blows up, like you, all right, let's say it's 5% of your account or 10% of the account, you're willing to take that loss. It's like going to Vegas, you know, but it's using these strategies and just literally taking your winners and trying to catch a streak. And it's a lot easier to do in bull markets. But then you take your remaining of the account and manage it properly. There is no get rich quick schemes unless you take a lot of risk and catch a streak. It's just like catching a hot table in Vegas, but you don't use your full account for that. You use like that 5%. You say, this is my gamble money. And in a bull market, like you catch a strong bottom and you roll it and you can catch 10, 15 trades in a row. Fantastic. You turn that small little amount into a much bigger amount. You just don't do it with the big accounts. And you hear about these people who, I took $10,000 and turned it into $300,000 a year. You don't hear what happens to them long term a lot of times because they keep trying to do silly stuff like that. They get into a market like this and they end up blowing up that $300,000 account and it's all gone. And you don't hear from them. And they don't tell you they blew up a lot of times. So, but if everybody says, well, look what this person did, and then you never hear the aftermath. Let's see. Let me get through some of these other markets. So that's where you got to be careful, and that's what people want. That's why they chase the option trades. They chase all this other stuff. By the way, that double became invalid, and it's pretty much the same thing on the Russell. I mean, I don't have to keep repeating myself with all this. Showed you enough of those, but in a continued rally tomorrow on the Russell. You can use the short-term harmonics, but I'm targeting 1905 with the daily rotations. And the Russell's got some heavy lifting to get through, though, because of all this prior support becoming resistance. So anywhere in here could roll over with the daily rotation zone. So that's one you got to be really nimble with. Not much going on with the DAX. Tomorrow I'll be watching above 14,060, targeting about 14,170. Below 13,780, I'm targeting 13,577. Crude, little rally off the 50 and our significant levels, which have been on the chart with the momentum bars and very mini double bottom pattern. But this is just nimble trading back and forth. Overall in crude, it's still in consolidation at this point. It's a breakout play above about 107 or a breakdown play below 100. Gold just getting taken to the woodshed, but we should be getting, even if it pulls back here, I'm still watching this 1850, 1853 level. That's some pretty major support. We'll be watching for a bottom in the coming days, but not quite yet. Silver. Remember, look at this. I had this 22.21 level off of there already. And you see here that nice little strong reversal. And this is why I said that was the next buy area and then reversing up. So the next unwind target is about 23.40. Why do you trade this around a core position? Because you can harvest price, keep lowering your cost basis. So even when you get these smackdowns, you already have harvested price and lowered your cost basis repeatedly. And you get to build a really nice, solid cost basis lower for when silver breaks higher. There's still a major physical shortage. Now, people may be wondering, well, why did silver get beat up so much with still inflation raging? Because also silver is an industrial metal. And we could be getting into an economic economic slowdown, which then would again put pressure on something like silver. However, there's also a pretty substantial shortage of silver. So keep that in mind, and the futures don't necessarily trade like the physical, because I'm not going to get into that here. Notes. All right, now this is a beautiful double bottom. Even if we push down this 118.04, fine. If we break there, here's again where I like to use these reverse harmonics. Minor than 118.04 to about 117.30 and a half, and then 117.21, but we could still trade lower and keep this double in play. Remember, it's just a potential, and could it still break down? Yes. This double is not anywhere near triggered. There is some front run stuff we'll take a look at possibly tomorrow, but I am watching for the longer term bottoming trade. at least to take us back to the weekly rotation zone, if not into the weekly rotation zone. Dollar index pushing up higher, not quite an inside day, but if we continue to break out tomorrow, my next level is 104.47. VIX, I already looked at, break below. I talked to people intraday. I said, watch that 33 level. You got the break below it, so I'm watching for a return to the daily rotation zone. The custom mega cap index, just missing that next harmonic, but rebounding up. And remember that harmonic area is an area, but you also see on this, if I can get to the 5-minute chart, you know, when you start seeing that momentum in NASDAQ and S&P, it's then jumping on it. And you see that little momentum to the upside on here. So again, I mentioned this morning, I was watching for that potential bottom and a rotation back into mega cap and growth. We're starting to get it, and that's only for a short-term bounce. Tesla. Little reversal, tried to break down a bit today, could not do it. Moving back up to the 902 significant level. Continued area tomorrow, I'll be targeting 930 if it continues up, and then major would be about 955 to 960. So that's where it sits on Tesla. Again, it's closing right at this level. I would not be surprised if we get some continued move in the NASDAQ tomorrow to see this easily test the 930 areas. Where else we said? I know you said the Qs. Let me get to some of these things. There's your double confirmed on the closing basis. So what are the targets for the Qs? Look at this, right off that harmonic I put out there earlier. I don't know. If you can't use this information, then I think you're doing something wrong. Because I mean, that's 310.65. And if I get another comment where people say you didn't get it to, you missed it by a few cents, I'm so tired of it. You know, 331.40, 323.23, 325.05. If you have a better system, then go out on YouTube, and there probably are, but I want to see you on YouTube. Put it out every day. That's really, I would be surprised if we didn't fulfill this pattern in the Qs. We are out of the way of the 1 hour rotation zone. We are still against a 4 hour rotation zone, but this could easily pop into the 4 hour rotation zone before rolling over, and that next target is in front of the 25% harmonic. There's no guarantee, so you have to use stop losses. Okay, always manage your stop losses. I did had that slightly off. Look at that, right with the 25% harmonic. Beautiful, thing of beauty. Does that make it any more probable that it will reach it? No. It's just interesting to note that that's a major, major target area in that 4 hour. And it is, you know, your second target is right in front of that daily rotation zone. What else do we have? What else do we have? MGK. The mega cap growth. So, yep. And again, you have that little double there, closing and back above the 1 hour rotation zone. So 208.57, 209.61, 210.66. It's interesting as you still have that gap there for it to potentially run. Here's your into this 4 hour rotation zone. So you got to be a little nimble here, but it's easily could get up in here before a rollover move. And your daily looking right at the top of that potential double. Thank you for that, Christoph. Let's see. ARKK. Yep. ARK might trigger a double tomorrow. And I'm using the conservative targets on pretty much all these because we are going against the overall trend. So ARK 53.70, about 54.93, 56.14. And I'd recommend putting these same levels, just mimic what I do on your whole charts in case I miss something by a penny or so, but that would just take it back into the weekly rotation zone. Now, this is going to be a little harder because it's against this key support that was broken. So, and you're against the daily rotation zone, so slightly lower probability. Would not be the first one I'd run into. XLC, you got this still. I had this on from the sector overview, which I hope a lot of people watch, so that could come to play. And that's, again, for a short-term bounce, not a long-term play for me. Google, you also have your little, you can see it clearly, that 4-hour double bottom. Thank you to Christoph. Again, I really appreciate everybody who calls these things out, because sometimes I forget to put them on here or I didn't see them. 2462, 2496, 2530. Always check your higher time frames. So that would trigger with that move into the rotation zone. I'd really focus on that second target. And when I say rotation zone, that's your daily rotation zone. And that's even to a return to this major support being broken. So you have these short little plays, but longer term, you got to be aware. Look at this, even with the looking at, make sure you look at all your time frames, because I'm expecting lower prices in Google, but you could easily get this corrective rally back to this prior support becoming resistance and then roll it on over. Roll it on over. So that's why you don't get greedy with this. You take your targets and then, you walk away from the trade, or you watch for the short setup again. Where do we sit? BG had triggered a double bottom on the 1 hour when we looked at it last week. It put in a new low since. Does it qualify as a potential double bottom on a 4-hour daily? It still qualifies. It's just, let's see. It qualifies on the daily, and it qualifies on the, oops, I got to check the, ooh. That's a miss. Nope, it does not qualify. So I take that back. You always got to do your measurements. And why, for anybody new here, why doesn't it qualify? Because the second target is into the wicks. You need the second target in the candle bodies. So could it still be traded above 121.70? Yeah, but you can't. You see, now you can't use these targets. What you'd have to use, breakdown zone and end of clear path. And this might never even get up there to target it. So that's why you got to be careful and double check your measurements. Wait, William, you asked for, before we get to coin, you asked for, what, Boeing? Oh, really, Boeing? Boeing. Looks like it could potentially be a little short term. We had 144.78 on here. Little spike reversal pattern. This would just be a rally, a recovery rally. With everything else, I'd be targeting 153 to 153.50 for a return to the daily rotation zone. If you pop up above there, based off this last swing, you should be able to do this stuff, William. Based off the last little swing, look at this. 37.5 would be my next target into the daily into the 4-hour rotation zone, and that would be with the potential gap fill play. So that would be my next, about 160.80. Then above there, I'd start watching for that gap fill play, and that would be into the daily rotation zone. Now, even if it filled the gap fill, it'd just be another rollover play. I would be surprised if it can get all the way up there. So I'd really be watching for a short-term pop, but then a rollover, especially with watching that 4-hour rotation zone. Coin, you do have, let me update. I have not looked at coin, as you can see, at least in a few days here. I don't really like this, but you do have a potential double bottom. So it would be above 128.35. Your harmonics, so you got your retracement harmonics with the double bottom coming in at 135.60, 135, 139.56, 143.29 are your targets. That is valid. You are against the daily rotation zone, but look, it's be so that's sort of interesting. I doubt that would complete the whole move, but that is it. So you have to trade the probabilities, and I definitely want the close above here, not just a peekaboo move above there. I think Lions won Nvidia. Sorry, I'm jumping around. And if I miss something, please put it in again. Nvidia, we had the harmonic here moving back up, and we still have this double I talked about last week. Nothing has changed there. Look at this harmonic cluster area. So I'm going to update this now. We're going to change this around, but this is completely valid and still going to keep an eye out. This would just be, again, for a pop move back into the daily rotation zone, but it hasn't even triggered yet. Keep that in mind. So those levels are still 210.45, 215.03, 219.61. Where are we? Hey, Kalani, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Again, if I can help you out, please do consider a super chat or a Patreon or a Buy Me a Coffee donation. Thank you very much, Kalani. Rich thinks we'll see 1,000 points for rally in the Nas. Well, we shall find out. 1,000-point rally in the Nas would take us back to, from here, if you're going from here, 14,050, which would essentially be almost below the second target on that double. 14K is target. That's just above the first target from the double. And just in line with the 50% retracement of this whole down move. On NQ, if you look at a regular hour trading, it's a perfect 1 hour double bottom. Does that matter? I mean, it's just a regular bottoming pattern. Does it matter if it's a perfect 1 hour? No, not to me. What do you think about KR massive weekly double top? I mean, it's part of the still a strong XLP. Again, grocery stores could start getting hit because they get only with inflationary pressures. That is a massive weekly double top. Would I be shorting it? No. Would I be using it to watch for lower levels? Let me come back down here. Would I be using it to watch for lower levels? Yes. This is not something I'd go against the strong... There we go. This is where I use these for lower levels against the weekly rotation zone. You know, you're breaking below the low daily rotation zone. You still have a gap fill play in here. So I'd be watching for pullback moves to reload for a long position back down there. If I was playing it from the short side, it would be very short-term plays based off of intraday momentum price action. I got your Boeing. Boeing earnings tomorrow. Yep. Thanks for BP. Sorry, BP earnings tomorrow. What am I saying? Again, yeah, we took a look at that. BP. You got this little... That'll be interesting. You do have a little double bottom going into earnings. So that's something, that's sort of a gamble play, but you've had companies printing well in earnings, and you had some pops like and stuff with XOM. So, I mean, a little nice move up today after that retracement on Friday. So could you get a little upside pop in BP? Yeah. The rotation zone, wouldn't worry about that. It's just flat at this point. But that'd be above 29.52. You got 30.21, 30.54, 30.88, and that's right on the 200. So you got a really good stop level because look, that 200, how it held here, how it held here, how it held here. So far, how you got the reversal off today. This would have to be interesting with that, and they're before the market tomorrow. Remember, let's the wrong one. Oops. Yep, they're before the market right there. So that would have to be either an after play, but I'd just wait for them to print and see if there's still an entry left behind, especially if they do a gap up play and hold it into the open, then that could be at least an intraday play. A lot of things have the same looks right now. There's just a lot of bottoming stuff going on. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for these super chats. Thank you very much. Was that 3 super chats, Lauren? Thank you so much. Lauren wins the gold star of the day for 3 super chats. You are awesome. Thanks, Christoph. And again, thanks for being here. Christoph's over in it's Germany, right, Christoph? And you're up late every day to join us for the live stream. Pony up, people. Yeah, don't just put it on Lauren. I've done some good teaching today. But yeah, it's up to anybody. That's why it's not mandatory that you donate if you know. But if you have learned something, consider something. Even like Kalani with $4.99, Lauren with the major super chats. Look at that. I think you're the GOAT today, Lauren. You are the GOAT. I'm the one that stands in the field. You're the greatest of all time. There you go. Show the harmonics on RDBX from today. They are insanely accurate. The reverse and then the 15-minute after the, I think that's a pause. I did not. I know you're tweeting about RDBX. You had that little pause move. You had the reverse harmonics. Let's see here. Which ones did you want? Hold on one second. I just got to respond to something. Sorry about that. There we go. Well, you have the harmonics from here to here. Right there, whether you used it from that level or this level, they were both. I mean, you're, again, not trying to call the exact high, but that was the base for this next little move. Then you have your reverse harmonics. With that. So, I mean, and then you had this little mini. Was that a valid double top pattern? I did not look at this stock all day long. I got to check that out on the 5-minute. No, never mind. Don't like that. But yeah, look at that little harmonic spike up there. Really nice right there. Again, it works. The stuff just works. And if you didn't use that base and you want a little farther back, no. Sorry, got a little click happy. I want to see for the full-blown harmonic where that sits from. And there's your full-blown harmonic all the way back to those lows. 10.99. That's where I like to do the, again, as I said before, you know, if you're putting up your cluster and you're looking for a cluster. So there's your full swing, and there's your most recent swing, and there's your harmonic cluster area, 1080 to 1099. How did you get those two? Well, there's your full one. Remember the move that started the correction, the move that started the bounce back play, and then your most recent swing was here, the base before this ramp up move. And so that's where you get your cluster from. And again, you're not trying to call stuff to the top. It moved off $11 also, but that was a little interesting pattern right there. This could be shooting for a breakdown backfill play. All right. I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, let me just look at Mosaic. We still see, I know we have still the head and shoulders on Mosaic not triggered but confirmed. Remember, it's where it broke that potential head and shoulders, and you do still have a double in place. So we do have bullish and bearish areas that head and shoulders did not trigger on the daily basis, and we have what was earnings. So where are they trading now? It looks like they're trading down based off of earnings. So this will probably trigger tomorrow, and then I'd be watching for the much bigger pullback in Mosaic unless it can bounce back above and open above this key level. So we'll keep an eye on Mosaic. All right, you did the full swing on RDBX. Thanks for all you do for us. Thank you very much for the super chat, Sterling. Thank you very much again. So this is what we'll keep an eye on. I hope people are taking some tips away from using how to come up with some of these levels and how to analyze. What's more important is you learn how to analyze. Sorry, I have to update that. You learn how to analyze the market. And that's what I'm trying to show people is a consistent way of analyzing with targets, with retracements, and how to put together sort of a game plan so you're not sitting there trying to follow something else. I really want people to put this stuff into practice, and learn. That's the whole point from this. And are you always going to be right? No, but once you get down a methodology, you can figure out what works for you. Today was a weak drop, looked like mopping up sellers and stops. Usually they do this to accumulate positions to go higher, not a real strong move up, maybe a test run. We shall see, won't we, going into tomorrow? I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah, I think MLS is coming back down now. Thanks, Mike. So that's it could bounce back up and still keep this double in play. So you still have upside and downside plays in MLS. We just got to trade the price action now. With that, I'm going to wrap this up for today. Again, historically, this is a pretty significant short-term bottoming potentiality as long as you don't get that close below the 62.5% of this candle. I'm watching for the continued follow-through for at least a day, day and a half. With that, I will wrap it up here. Again, if you are new and you found this information helpful, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button, so you know when we go live every day. Until that, I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful, peaceful evening. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for the wonderful super chats and for being a part of this live stream and all the information you provide to everybody by putting it in the chat so we can review it, and all the helpful thoughts and plays that you guys spot. Again, very much appreciated. Thank you for being part of this community, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.